First up at 11 and live on the Channel 3 streaming news app, we are following the latest developments on the coronavirus outbreak. And today we learned hospitalizations rose after a 12-day decline.
Another big announcement made today. Governor Lamont making it official. Schools will remain closed for the rest of the academic year. We're going to have much more on that in just a moment. But let's take a look right now at the very latest numbers. More than 30,000 people in our state have tested positive for COVID-19. More than 2,600 have passed away. 1,500 people are currently in the hospital. That is up 36 from yesterday.
Our team coverage continues right now at 11, and that uptick in hospitalizations has many people wondering right now how the partial reopening on May 20th could now be impacted. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Matthew Campbell is live tonight with more details for us. Matthew, what are you learning?
Reset button. The state is moving forward, and looking through our Facebook comments, it seems like many have questions about this because we were told we needed to see 14 days of declines in hospitalizations.
Our daily hospitalization rate increased by 36 today, ending our 12-day streak of continuous declines.
One day is not something really to focus on, but it's just to keep in mind that this is by no means behind us.
Even so, the state is still planning on reopening on the 20th.
And urge you to maintain the social distancing because that's how we get this state going again, and that's how we keep to our May 20 date and beyond.
Many viewers reached out wondering if today's uptick in hospitalizations means we start all over again. The state says it does not.
The concept is a rolling average. So, we know that particularly as the hospitalizations continue to decline, eventually they'll flatten out, right? They're not going to go to zero. And so the concept was 14 days of a continuous decline, but looking at a rolling average. So today's just one data point, but we're obviously going to be watching it very carefully in the coming days.
For added perspective, we reached out to Senator Dr. Saud Anwar. He's a pulmonologist and was invited by the governor to share his thoughts at the daily news briefing, where he made it clear he felt the partial reopening on May 20th was too early.
There is inherently an understanding that you're willing to have more people be critically ill. And I have a problem with that mindset.
So even before today's numbers came out, the Democratic doctor was skeptical of May 20th, and he points at the stats as another example as to why.
When we see things which would result in us to be concerned about the disease process, it would be worthy to reevaluate.
The state has released other metrics for reopening, which in addition to the declines in hospitalizations include increased testing, sufficient contact tracing, protection of the high-risk population, adequate hospital capacity, adequate PPE supply, and physical distancing. Dr. Anwar also wants to see antibody tests added to the list.
We need to do it based on a timeline that is determined on our capacity rather than a timeline that is based on our need to open it.
So even though the doctor doesn't agree with reopening in 2 weeks, he and the state can agree on this. The hospitalization rate today is not something to panic about, but it is something to observe closely going forward.